HMRC is coming for you if you have claimed any tax refund based on expenses that were inflated or did not even exist. You may be receiving a very unpleasant letter soon from HMRC. They are cracking down, they are going through receipts, they are checking all receipts, and they are requesting for receipts for every expense that you have claimed on your self-assessment. And so, if you know you fall into one of these categories, please stay with me till the end to see what you need to do. HMRC is cracking down and thousands are receiving letters for tax investigation, and you don't want to be part of this because it comes with very high penalties. And so do stay with me. In this video, I'll be highlighting 2 examples of individuals that are under investigation. I will also be highlighting what triggers these investigations from HMRC, and then finally tell you what you need to do if you fall a victim and how to avoid these investigations from HMRC. Stay with me till the end. If this is your first time here, my name is Amma, a chartered accountant and a tax professional from AB & Co. Accounting and Tax Services. Now let's consider real-life examples. The first one is an individual who is a self-employed under the CIS scheme working as a subcontractor. They completed their own self-assessment, and on the self-assessment tax return, they included inflated expenses. These were expenses that did not exist, and so they didn't have any receipts to prove should HMRC come back to them. They had received this investigation letter because the tax refund amount is huge. So HMRC need to verify if every expense on their tax return is correct and accurate. So they requested for receipts. This individual came to us because he didn't have any receipts. This can happen to you also. You need to only include business expenses that are accurate and that you have evidences on. Otherwise, if requested by HMRC, you will not have any evidence to give to them. That can also give rise to investigation. It's essential and crucial to only include expenses that are legitimate on your self-assessment tax return. That's the first example. The next real-life example is an employee who was also approached by another company to claim a tax refund for them. The company went ahead to claim expenses that didn't even exist at all. And unlucky for this employee, they never looked at the tax return before it was submitted by this company. And so they were there when they received a huge tax refund for various tax years. Years after, HMRC raised an inquiry and requested receipts for all expenses that were included on the tax returns for various tax years. Because this employee didn't even have knowledge that this company is claiming expenses on their return, they couldn't provide any receipts. Again, it's important and crucial here that if anyone is preparing your tax return for you, you need to review the tax return before it's submitted. And you need to approve everything stated on the return as accurate. And you need to ensure you have evidences for everything on the return before it's submitted to HMRC. Because remember, you are liable should anything happen. These are 2 real-life examples. What usually triggers these investigations? Remember, HMRC is wise and they know what they are doing. They are very experienced. So the first thing that can trigger investigations is if the expenses are high on your tax return and you have receipts for them as business expenses, you shouldn't worry. But if you are inflating or providing expenses on your self-assessment that don't exist, be careful because that can trigger an investigation. That's the first thing. The next thing is inconsistencies between various tax years. If there are inconsistencies in your tax return, that can also trigger tax investigation. Ensure everything that you are doing on your self-assessment tax return is accurate. Accuracy is important here. Another thing that can also trigger investigations is repeat claims year on year. Every year you go on to claim and the claim amount doesn't really change. It's the same. That can also trigger tax investigations. Be careful. You don't want to get any tax refund you are not due. Only claim tax refund that are due to you. Don't try to get any advantage of the taxman. These are some of the reasons that can trigger tax investigations. Now let's consider if you are in this situation, you have already inflated figures on your self-assessment and you have even already received tax refunds. What do you need to do now? The first thing you need to do now is go back and look at your tax returns and amend it to the right amount only. You need to amend your tax returns to include only figures that are accurate, that you have evidences on, that are legitimate. You need to revise the tax return and resubmit it to HMRC. If you have already received repayment, you need to pay that back to HMRC. So revise your tax returns, pay back repayments to HMRC. That's the first thing you need to do. The second thing you need to do, if you can't do all these by yourself, is approach a tax professional or an accountant to prepare your self-assessment tax returns for you accurately. And remember, you must review all your self-assessment tax returns before they are submitted to HMRC. That's the second thing you need to do. So in summary, always complete your self-assessment tax returns with only accurate information that you have evidences on. Always claim tax refunds that are due to you, that are legitimate. And always review your self-assessment tax return before they are submitted to HMRC. As always, all our videos are for education purposes only and should not be in any way be taken as a tax advice, accounting, or any form of advice. For personal, tailored advice, please do contact us. If you want us to complete your self-assessment for you accurately, please do contact us using the details in the description or speak to your own accountant or advisor. We know how important it is to not get any charges at all. And so these videos here will help you know whether you need to complete a self-assessment, and if you complete a self-assessment and you get a penalty, how to appeal it. Please watch them next. I hope this video has been useful. If it has, please send us a signal by hitting the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more tax tips such as this. Thank you for watching.